Step on up, sit down, twist off that bottle top or crack open that can, and welcome to Porch Matters. This is Terry Cagle coming to you from my back porch. Yes sir, yes ma'am, the name of this show is authentic. On Porch Matters, our saying is this: big issues or just a friendly conversation, no topic is off limits. We take pride in being able to talk about anything with each other in an open discussion. Open discussion is one of the only ways to learn. Your perspective could be changed. You could change the perspective of others. Friends and family, welcome to another episode of Porch Matters. I'm glad you're here. On this episode, I am pleased to welcome me. There is no guest today. It is just me and you. It's my very first solo episode other than that bonus episode that I released a couple of weeks ago. If you hadn't heard it, please go back in the archives and take a listen and see if you like it. One of these days, I am going to have to pay attention to my own advice and figure out a way to do my recording during the daytime. I'm a procrastinator at heart, and I always wait and sit out here and record at night with you. And during the wintertime, as soon as that sun goes down, it gets butt cold out here. It's not as bad as it was in the last few weeks. It is definitely dadgum cold out here. I can tell you that right now. I'm sitting here looking at my breath as I'm sitting here talking into this microphone. I hope everyone has had a great 2 weeks. I know for me, work has been absolutely ridiculous the last 2 weeks. Just me sharing with you. I felt very defeated the last couple of weeks. I've had several drivers that have been out, and due to this, that, and the other, it's been really difficult to get my routes covered. To say last week was rough is an understatement. I really needed to get away, and Stacy shared the same sentiment. The way mine and her schedule worked out, that was going to be the weekend for us to be able to celebrate Valentine's Day as a couple. Me being the low-key, hopeless romantic that I am, I wanted to do something different and special. As y'all know, I love to go to Memphis. Been going for years, and I've always passed this place in Holly Springs, Mississippi, but I've never stopped. I wanted us to be able to take a small road trip and get away for a bit. Stacy likes surprises, so I kept it secret and didn't tell her where we were going till we got around Tupelo. And on our way over there, she just had to blind me with the little mirror and everything that's in the passenger side while she was putting on her makeup, so that was great. Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. You knew I was going to say something about it. Don't give me that look. She's giving me that look, folks. I'm telling you. I can already see it. We got over there around Tupelo. I told her where we were going. And then we pulled up into Marshall Steakhouse in Holly Springs. It's right there off of exit 26 off of 22. We walked in and the place was packed. We had to wait around about 30 minutes on a table. When the time came, we walked up the stairs and sat down. Waiter starts explaining how they use USDA prime beef, and it's aged at least 28 days. Stacy decides she's going to have the hamburger steak. It was made from prime beef ground into hamburger meat. Ribeye, sirloin, you name it, they take it all, little tips and pieces like that, grind it up, and they make their hamburger meat with it. If you can hear my hiccups through this, I apologize. I'm trying to get rid of them. I looked around on the menu and I saw they had a tomahawk steak. Now, if you've never heard of a tomahawk steak, what it is a bone-in ribeye, and the bone is still long, like a tomahawk handle, hence the name. I've always seen them in pictures, but I've never had one. This one in particular was 40 ounces, 40, or what I would like to call a big boy steak. I looked at Stacy and said, "When in Mississippi," meaning we drove up there. It's our Valentine's Day dinner. I might as well go for it. So I ordered the 40-ounce tomahawk steak. It did not disappoint. While we waited, we both enjoyed a great salad. Her hamburger steak came out first, then mine came out. My tomahawk steak was about 2 inches thick, cooked to perfection. Meaning, as I'm talking about it, I'm reminiscing about how delicious it was, and I'm literally having to wipe the drool from my mouth. It was that good. It was the best steak I have ever had. The only complaint I had was the amount of fat on it. Now, me being the fat boy that I am, I was always raised that the fat on the ribeye is where all the flavor is. And I've always ate it. If that grosses you out, I apologize. But I love it. But with this steak, with it being 2 inches thick, it was way too much fat for even me. So even I had to leave some of it. Dolly Joe, which is Stacy's dog, had a fantastic meal whenever she gave her those bits of the fat and everything that I left. Also, me being the country boy that I am, I took the bone with me. So I think she gnawed on it for 2 or 3 days. If you get the opportunity to go up to Holly Springs to Marshall Steakhouse, I absolutely recommend it. Fantastic people, fantastic food, and it was voted the best steak in Mississippi for a reason. So you might need to check that one out. Marshall Steakhouse is absolutely Fat Boy approved. Sunday, I needed to go up to Boaz and pick up a truck for work, and I got my mother to go with me. She would drive my pickup back to Coleman and follow me driving that truck back. I figured before we did that, I would say thank you and take her somewhere we had been wanting to try. We drove down to Sardis, which is right below Boaz, like you're going back to Gadsden, and went to a place called Bama Bucks. If you've never heard of Bama Bucks, they have a small petting area where you can see different animals, including deer, and they have a small store inside, kind of like Cracker Barrel does. We ended up having to wait a little over an hour. I mean, they were packed. We finally got seated. We looked at the menu and seen that their trophy buck ribeye steak was actually voted the best steak in Alabama recently. Unfortunately, they were out of it. Mom had the beef medallions, which were 2 pieces of beef tenderloin with fried green tomatoes. If you've never had fried green tomatoes, you're missing out on a treat. I had always wanted to try bison. Always heard it was delicious. Bama Bucks had a 12-ounce bison ribeye with tomato butter. I had to ask what tomato butter was. It's basically butter with some of the tomato skin in it. The bison ribeye and tomato butter were absolutely delicious. The bison was lean like a sirloin and very tender. Really enjoyed it. The only complaint I had about Bama Bucks was the weight. But in their defense, like I said a minute ago, they were covered slap up. I'm definitely going to go back. I want to try that trophy buck. When I do, you'll be the first one to hear about it. This past week at work, it was actually rougher than the other week. It seems kind of funny if I go to talking about work. It just seems like the last 3 or 4 weeks, one week is bad, then the next week says, to use that phrase, hold my beer. It's like each week later on says, hold my beer. It just seems like it keeps getting worse. That being said, whenever Saturday rolled around, I felt like I needed a good stress reliever. And originally, my cousin Derek and his wife and son were supposed to go with us, but they had to cancel. So we're going to have to reschedule that, if you're listening to me. Me, Stacy, and Xander ended up going down to downtown Jasper. Now, I live in Walker County, and Jasper happens to be our county seat. If you live in the area or in driving distance, downtown Jasper has built up over the last few years. They've got some really nice places to check out on the weekends. One of which is Warehouse 319. Had a really good vibe and feel to it. The staff was very nice and courteous, and they had TV screens all over the place so you could watch all the games. I ended up ordering the chicken Alfredo. Xander ordered some chicken fingers. The chicken fingers, I have to admit, were top notch. I was very impressed with them. But I have to say, Stacy had the dish of the night with that stuffed pork chop. It was a pork chop that was stuffed with something like a spinach artichoke, according to the waitress. I'm personally not a huge fan of spinach artichoke, but when we decide to go back, I'm ordering that pork chop. It was very good. After we ate, we walked about 3 blocks down to the Jasper Axe House. Walked in, met the staff there. They were really nice and very courteous. We signed our waivers and went to our lanes. This was not our first time throwing, but it was our first time there. Staff went over how to throw and told us their rules. When we were able to start throwing, I got in a decent rhythm after about 10 throws. Then a member of the staff came over with a full-size axe and showed me how to throw it underhanded. Tried it a few times. I'm definitely going to go back over there, if nothing else, but just to get that down pat. I got to where I could throw it halfway decent. I got it to stick a couple of times, but I really wasn't too accurate with it. So I went back to throwing the hatchets. Got back in my little rhythm, and then the same member of the staff came over with a shovel. I tried a shovel and actually showed me how to throw it. It was more of a military-style shovel. It wasn't like one that you could buy at Walmart. I got pretty good with it before I turned it back in. If you'll look on the social media page, you'll actually see proof that I actually hit a bullseye with it. Took Xander a little while to get into a rhythm, but whenever he did, he actually got really good. Whenever he was throwing his little hatchet, it looked like he was trying to throw a baseball. It was actually really fun to sit there and watch. But he got to the point where he was actually getting pretty accurate with it. Stacy, bless her heart, she was struggling until we were told we had about 10 minutes left. After we were told 10 minutes left, she couldn't miss. We really had a good time. If you have never been axe throwing and you live within driving distance of Jasper, Alabama, drive down to see the folks at the Jasper Axe House. Tell them that you heard about them on Porch Matters. As I am recording this, the LA Rams just won the Super Bowl. I actually watched it this year. I don't normally watch the NFL. Main reason why I watched it this year was for the halftime show. That halftime show was the best one that I've seen in a very long time. I ain't gonna lie. Whenever I heard California Love come on, I threw up a W. I couldn't help it. That was the music of my youth. This year's Super Bowl was a pretty good game. I do have to admit. Rams came out swinging, but when Beckham went down, they started struggling. I think Burrow was listening to Eminem sing Lose Yourself and got fired up. He and the Bengals came out swinging at halftime and looked very strong. Rams ended up getting that clutch touchdown with less than 2 minutes to go, and the Bengals couldn't answer. Congratulations to the LA Rams. Very good season from what I hear, and well-deserving victory in the Super Bowl. Since it is Valentine's Day, whenever you're hearing this, we just heard some wisdom from the two hosts of the #1 ranked married podcast, One Extraordinary Marriage. If y'all haven't listened to that episode, please go back and check it out. But Stacy shared something with me last week, and I thought that I would share it with you. Dr. Gary Chapman wrote a book that I am actually thinking about buying and reading called The 5 Love Languages. What is the 5 love languages, you might be asking? Well, the way I understand it, the 5 love languages is how you express love to your partner. And here they are. 1 is acts of service. Doing things for your partner. Washing dishes, taking out the trash, running an errand, or just doing something for them that you don't normally do. Mainly just so they don't have to do it. There's a lot of people running around this world that's just got so much stuff on them, but yet their partner don't always seem to do this, that, and the other for them. Maybe go out on a limb and do a chore or two for them and just show them that you appreciate them. Number 2 would be receiving gifts. Some people just love to receive a gift that the partner put time and effort in to get them. Number 3 would be quality time. Some people want your undivided attention, and to show that they love you by giving you their undivided attention. They want to feel like they are your number one priority, and they want as much time with you as they can get. Number 4 would be words of affirmation. Sometimes people just need to hear or say things like, I love you, I'm proud of you, I'm happy to have you in my life, etc., etc. And of course, there's number 5, physical touch. Holding hands, cuddling, hugging, booty grabs, kissing, and of course, sex. Some people need this in their lives to feel loved. If they don't get it from their partner, they feed off of it in a good or a negative way. Everyone feeds off of their specific love languages. And if they don't get it, it affects everyone in a negative way to the point where they might even question their relationship. At 5lovelanguages.com, they actually have a test to see what your primary love language is. I recommend everyone listening to my voice right now to go and take 3 minutes and take the quiz, whether you are single, dating somebody, or been married for years. What's it going to hurt you? Me and Stacy did. The results of her test was actually quality time and acts of service. Meaning, she wants as much time as I can give her, and she likes it whenever I do things for her. Mine was physical touch and words of affirmation. Meaning, I like a good cuddle, I like a good kiss, I like a good booty grab, and I like hearing her say that she loves me. And I like hearing her say that she's proud of me. I like hearing her say that she supports me in what I'm doing on this show. It's just like what they said in G.I. Joe. Knowing is half the battle. If you know what makes your partner feel loved and appreciated, it does nothing but make your relationship stronger. Again, I encourage everyone to go and take that quiz. Learn more about yourself and your partner. It can't do nothing but help. I really appreciate everybody that has been downloading the show and spreading the word. As of, I think it was last week, we're past 7,000 downloads for the show. I can't thank you enough. It shows that you believe in what we're doing here. And by we, I mean me and you. And you're supporting what we're doing. Guys, I'm living a dream. Even though I'm sitting on this back porch freezing my butt off, I'm living my dream as far as doing this show. I'm very proud to be doing this show. I'm very happy to be doing this show. And I'm really appreciative that each and every one of you listening to my voice right now have taken the time out of your day to put this show on and to listen to what I'm having to say or to listen to who I have on the show. It really makes me feel good, and it really makes me feel appreciated, and it makes me appreciative of you. So please keep spreading the word, and let's see if we can make this thing grow any bigger than what it is. I figure if each one of you share this show with one person each episode, we can double. And I'd really like to double. I'm sitting here on this back porch, and I've got 2x4s, and I've got plywood around. I'm fixing to build a little wall that I can put behind me. And then I'm going to hang that fantastic flag that Mr. Hiller made for me that I talked about in the last episode. I'm going to hang it up. And before this year's over with, we're going to be doing video. So I'll be posting video onto Facebook. I'm going to be trying to take some lessons on how to stream. I'm going to do everything that I can to make this show bigger. And I just hope all of you that hear my voice right now is going to stay with me and just help me continue to make this show bigger and better, because I can't do it without you. And I just want you to know that I love and appreciate every single one of you. With that being said, this show is going to be a little bit shorter than what I normally do, but it is what it is. So I hope everybody has a fantastic 2 weeks. I really hope you enjoyed this episode with the food reviews. If you're interested in checking out Marshall Steakhouse, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Just look up Marshall Steakhouse. You can check out their menu and everything right there. If you're interested in Bama Bucks, you can find them on all social media as well at Bama Bucks. You can check out their menu as well and see if there's anything there that you want to try. Warehouse 319, you can find them on social media as well at Warehouse 319. Jasper Axe House, same thing. Just look up at Jasper Axe House. Really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're interested in checking them out, that's where you can find them. Give me some feedback on it if you go and check them out. Let me know what you think as well. Go to each place and tell them that you heard about them right here on Porch Matters, if you would. And I'll see you next time, right here on Porch Matters.